The viruses, when they typically the coronavirus, when it is transmitted from the humans to the humans, it doesn't prove to be that fatal. There are a lot of varieties of this coronavirus that we're going to study today, but we must know that whenever there is a primary reservoir or the secondary reservoir is an animal, then it is mutated to be quite of a fatal type of the coronavirus, and it can cause the fatality rate to reach almost 3.5%. That is today for the corona nova that we are dealing in with, which is also known as COVID-19. Right now, we have almost 109,578 cases reported worldwide for this particular COVID-19 that we are dealing with. And the deaths that have been reported so far are almost 3,809, and this makes the fatality rate to be almost 3.5% for COVID-19. So this is quite high, but we must know and we must acknowledge this fact that this fatality rate has been reported in individuals of the older age group, and usually it is much higher for the individuals who are also suffering from the comorbid conditions. For instance, people who are already diagnosed with hypertension, diabetes mellitus, cardiovascular diseases, cancerous conditions, neoplastic conditions, who are smokers or are also suffering from the chronic respiratory syndromes. So these are some of the comorbid conditions that basically prove to be quite fatal whenever these individuals suffer or have the typical coronavirus that we're dealing with. In normal individuals, people usually recover after having the common symptoms of cold, cough, and flu, and it doesn't prove to be very fatal for these individuals. Now, this is something very serious. People usually ought to have the school of thought that if it is not quite a fatal disease, then why is it such a pandemic, and why is it such a striking factor right now for the rest of the world? The fact is that it can basically mutate in the individual and can cause serious conditions and can cause the death of the older aged individuals or the individuals who are suffering from an already comorbid condition. So even if it doesn't prove to be fatal for you, it can prove to be fatal, and you can be the source of transmission to the individuals, to the other individuals who are prone to this particular virus. So this is something that we ought to educate the normal population about. The normal transmission and the factors that we have to consider out here. For instance, social distancing is one of the factors that has been considered nowadays as one which is basically proving to be quite fruitful in a lot of countries. The government is taking special actions to basically implement this social distancing, and that is basically resulting to be quite beneficial and quite fruitful. So these are the viruses that we're going to consider whenever all of the researches have been carried out so far. The viruses that have been found in the human are termed as the human coronavirus 229E. Then we have the human coronavirus OC43. We have the severe acute respiratory syndrome related coronavirus, which is also known as SARS. It basically happened in 2002. And as I've already mentioned, the primary reservoir was bat. Then we had the secondary reservoir, which was a sea-whale kind of a creature. It was a mixture of a mouse and a squirrel, and that was basically a secondary reservoir in case of SARS. This proved to be quite fatal for a lot of individuals, and then we had the human coronavirus NL63. These are the different varieties that we have been dealing in with throughout the history, and basically they have been mutated in the primary and the secondary reservoirs. When I talk about, or when I use the word or the terminology of coronavirus, it can infect the humans and it can also infect the animals as well. So the viruses, when they're transmitted from the humans to any other healthy individual, they do not prove to be that fatal. In cases in which we have the primary reservoirs of this, or the secondary reservoirs, or the animals, then they prove to be quite infectious, and they also prove to be quite fatal in particular group of individuals. Then we have another variety which is known as the human coronavirus HKU1. We had another pandemic, or the epidemic, which the world faced in almost 2012. It was the Middle East respiratory syndrome related coronavirus. Over here, what happened was that the primary reservoir was the bat, and it got transmitted to the camels, which basically served as the secondary reservoir, and then it basically infected the humans. So this is how it got transmitted. The transmissions can be due to the close contact that the people can come in with these animals, and it's basically a respiratory infection, an air droplet infection. So this is very important to understand at this level, that these air droplets got contaminated and they can just reach the humans and infect the humans. The virus can come in contact with the mucous membranes. It can come in contact with the eyes, and that is why people have been told to use masks as well as goggles to protect their eyes as well. So this is how it gets infected. This is how it gets transmitted from humans to the humans, and from the animals to the humans. So this is the major, or the basic transmission, how it gets. Then these days we have the novel coronavirus, and this novel coronavirus got mutated from the bats, which basically served as the primary reservoir, and then it went into the pangolins. Pangolins are basically somewhat in between the armadillos and the anteaters, and they served to be the secondary reservoirs over here. And then finally, it basically reached the human beings. Pangolin is thought to have the medicinal purposes throughout the world. Basically, it all started in China's wet market of Wuhan, but finally it reached worldwide and infected people worldwide, and nowadays it's basically a pandemic that we're dealing in with. When we study the course of the communicable diseases, we get to know a lot of factors that there can be a local transmission. Then there are the cases of the imported transmission, and as well as we have the community transmission going on. So all of these factors, they come into play in cases of these communicable diseases, and they play their vital role over here. Now, what basically happens is infections can even travel within the community. They can be transmitted from the community outside to the other cities, and this is how it is known as an imported cases. And then there can be the local transmission as well within the city. So these are the three modes of transmissions, the three models of transmissions that these communicable diseases can follow right over here.